the first verb is in present simple, we use the perfect infinitive to have to have done, to have done in personal passive constructions. All right. Now, uh, past continuous. Past continuous. This time, there's not only there is the time shift. That is here. First verb is in the present simple. People think, and the second verb is in the past. But also we have the mode that is past continuous. So how are we going to change this active sentence? Is by using the perfect infinitive, the perfect continuous infinitive. Okay, perfect. Why perfect? Because we have a time, we have a time shift, time difference. As I told you before, we use, when we have a time difference, we use the perfect. But since here we have past continuous, we use the perfect continuous. The government is thought to have been building, to have been doing. So when you have the second verb in past continuous and the first verb in present simple, we use the progressive perfect infinitive, to have been doing. The government is thought to have been building new schools. All right. Now, how about past perfect? They think you had lived in London. Now, the past perfect will behave like the present perfect. You have here the first verb is in present simple and the second verb is in past perfect. So there is a time shift, time difference. And since there is a time difference, then the uh, uh, passive personal construction will be you are thought to have lived in London. You are thought to have lived in London. Okay, it's the same thing as the present perfect tense. The second verb is past perfect and the first verb is present simple. We use the perfect infinitive construction to have done in personal passive constructions. Now, future. Now, the future behave like present simple. Okay, so when you have the first verb is in the present and the second verb is in the future, we use the present simple infinitive. It is believed that the factory will make profit soon. The factory is believed to make profit soon. So the future tense behaves like present simple. It's like when you say, for instance, here, they believe that the factory makes. Okay, that's the same thing here. Okay, they believe that the factory makes profit or that the factory will make profit. The personal passive construction is always with the perfect infinitive. The fact with the present simple, with the present infinitive, the factory is believed to make a profit soon. However, when we have future perfect, they say that he will have delivered. This is future perfect. It's not future simple. When you have future perfect, then the personal passive construction will have the future perfect infinitive. He is said to have delivered all the newspapers by 8 o'clock. It is very important. This time expression is very important to indicate that we are talking about the future and not the past. Because if you don't use this time expression, we might think that this sentence happened in the past. He is said, if you said this sentence without the time expression, he is said to have delivered all the newspapers, we might think that it was in the past. However, when you use this by 8 o'clock, by next Monday, by next May, by 2050, when you have future time expressions, then these indicate that we are talking about future time. Anyway, what is important is why are we using the perfect infinitive is the fact that we have a time difference. We have a present simple and the future perfect, and we don't have the future simple. If we had the future simple, then we can only use the present infinitive. All right, now things will be again a little bit more difficult because so far what we have seen are only verbs that start or sentences that start with the first verb being in the simple present. Now here we have a verb not in the simple present but in the past. Mr. Brown was believed to own. And why do we use here the present infinitive? Simply because there is no time shift, no time shift. People believe the first verb is in the past simple, the second verb is in past simple, and so the passive construction will be Mr. Brown was believed to own a lot of land. However, in the second sentence, we have a time shift because the first verb is in past simple, they thought, and the second verb is in past perfect. Now, in this sentence, we have a time difference between a reference, which is in past simple, and between a posterior, between an anterior time reference, which is in past perfect. And in order to show this time difference, we need to use the perfect infinitive. The prisoners were is the past tense because of the verb uh, of the first verb, tense of the first verb is in past simple, they thought, and the perfect infinitive will reflect the fact that the second verb is in past perfect. The prisoners were thought to have escaped. All right. So this is a slide that summarizes what I have been talking about as the time difference or time shift. Look at the first sentence. The first sentence, both verbs are in the present simple. Because both verbs are in the present simple, there is no time shift. He is said to know. Present infinitive. Second sentence, both verbs are in past simple. Again, there is no time difference. What you do is to change the active into passive. You say he was said to know. So the only difference between the two sentences is that the first verb is in the present, he is said. The second verb is in the past simple, he was said. But the two verbs, that is the verb knows is in the present infinitive. Both of them are in present infinitive because there is no time shift or time difference. However, if you look at third sentence, The third sentence starts with the verb in the present simple. It is thought. And the second verb is in past simple. In this case, we have a time difference, and this is reflected in the passive construction using the perfect infinitive. He is thought to have acted. Similarly, the last sentence contains a time difference. The first verb is in past simple, and the second verb is in past perfect. So, because there is a time difference between the past time and past time, which is here past simple, and the past time here in past perfect, we reflect this time difference in saying he was thought to have acted. Right? This slide summarizes for you when to use the perfect infinitive and when to use the simple present infinitive. All right, now let's do some exercises. We're gonna start with changing these impersonal passive constructions into personal, and the personal pronoun is most of the time given in italic format. So who would like to change this impersonal passive construction into a personal, starting with the subject he? So in order to do this, be careful. Try to study the first verb, that is the tense of the first verb, and the tense of the second verb. If there is no time shift, no time difference, you can easily use the present infinitive. Is said to be an honest, hard-working man. He is said to be. Easy. Second sentence. It is considered that this sergeant is a brilliant practitioner.
Teacher,
Yes.
the surgeon is considered to be a brilliant practitioner. Practitioner.
Yes. Good. Practitioner. Here, both verbs are in the present simple. It is. Second verb is in the present simple, and so we only use the present infinitive. The sergeant is considered to be a brilliant practitioner. Let's do another sentence. It was claimed that the drug produced no undesirable side effects. Now, in this sentence, the first verb is in past simple and the second verb is in past simple. And what we need is to change this impersonal into a personal passive construction by starting with the drug. Who would like to do it? Starting with the drug.
The drug was claimed to be produced no undesirable side effects.
The drug was claimed to
produce.
To produce. You can't use a passive within passive. Okay.
Yes.
You can't use that. The drug was claimed to produce.
No.
And here, yeah, to do. present present infinitive, to do, to produce. And here we have no time difference. Both verbs are in past simple. Okay, what you do is use the first verb in past simple, and the second verb should be in the present infinitive. All right, let's continue with the other more examples. This sentence has the first verb in the present simple. It is said that the police acted, and the second verb is in past simple. All right, we need to change the police should be should be the subject of the personal passive construction. Who would like to try this one?
Teacher?
Yes, go ahead.
The police is said to have acted with great restraint despite provocation.
Very good. So you see, you have used the perfect infinitive. Why have you used the perfect infinitive? The police is said to have acted with great restraint. Why have you used the this perfect infinitive?
Because we have a time difference.
Good. We have a time difference. The first verb is in present simple and the second verb is in past simple. Good. Next sentence. It was alleged that the Prime Minister had misled the House. It was alleged.
Teacher?
Yes, go ahead.
The Prime Minister was alleged to have misled the House.
Good. Again, you have used the perfect infinitive. You have used the perfect infinitive because, why?
We have also time difference.
We have a time difference between the first verb being in the past simple and the second verb being in the past perfect. And you know the past perfect expresses an anterior time reference, anterior to past simple. And to reflect that anteriority, we use the perfect infinitive. The Prime Minister was alleged to have misled the House. All right, let's move on to see other examples. This sentence starts with the this is this exercise will review you know, the simple passive constructions with the verb plus indirect object and a direct object. Okay, they asked me some difficult questions at the interview. Who would like to change this into the passive? In this exercise, it is not. It's the purpose of this exercise is to review with you transitive verbs that have direct and indirect. Go ahead, please. I can't hear you. All right, so the answer is, I was asked some difficult questions at the interview. Now, when verbs, when transitive verbs have an indirect object and a direct object, the normal passive construction, although we have the possibility to use the indirect object as subject, I was asked, you can also use the direct object as subject. Some difficult questions were asked to me, but this is a construction that we normally don't use. The correct passive construction for a verb that has an indirect object and a direct object is to use the indirect object as the subject of the sentence. I was asked some difficult questions at the interview. Similarly, Linda's colleagues gave her a present. Again, the verb to give is a verb that can have an indirect object and a direct object. And so the appropriate and the most correct construction is to start with the indirect object as the subject of the passive construction. So Linda was given a present when she retired. Linda was given a present. Instead of saying a present was given to Linda, okay, when she retired. Note that when retire is an intransitive verb, and so this can't be changed into the passive. Nobody told me about the meeting. Nobody told me about the meeting will be changed as I was not told. I was not told, sorry, I was not told about the meeting. I have repeated the indirect object, but of course, I was not told about the meeting is the correct construction. Now, let's come back to what we have seen earlier, and that is passive constructions that start with the impersonal pronoun it. It is believed that the thieves have left the country, and so if we want to make this a impersonal passive construction to be passive, we need to start with the thieves as subject. The thieves are believed. Why are we using present simple here? Because the first verb is in present simple, but the second verb is a perfect infinitive, to have left. Why? Because the tense in the original, in the active sentence, is in the present perfect, and of course there is a time shift between present perfect and present simple, and to reflect that time shift we use the perfect infinitive. The thieves are believed to have left the country. Next sentence, who would like to do this one? It is similar to the first one. It is reported that the fire has started by accident. Changing this impersonal passive construction into a personal passive construction by starting with the fire as subject. Who would like to do it?
Sir?
Yes, go ahead.
The fire is reported to have started by accident.
Good. The fire is reported to have started by accident. All right, so we are using the perfect infinitive here, to have done, because we have, as in the first sentence, a time difference between the first verb and the second verb. All right, now here's another sentence. This time we have the present simple in the first verb, but the future continuous in the second verb. Who would like to try this one? Using the pronoun he as subject of the sentence. It is thought that he will be attending the meeting. Yes?
Teacher,
Go ahead.
he is thought to be attending the meeting.
Good. He is thought to be attending This is the continuous or progressive infinitive, to be doing, because we have the future continuous. He is thought to be attending the meeting. All right, more sentences. It is reported that the government has reached a decision. Second verb is in present perfect. First verb is in the present simple. Start with the government as the subject of the sentence. Who would like to try?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead, please.
The government is reported to a decision.
Good. The government is reported to have reached a decision. Good. Next sentence. It is known that he is making a lot of money. It is known that he is making a lot of money. Here, the second verb is in present continuous. It is known that he is making a lot of money. And we need to change this impersonal construction into a personal one by starting with the pronoun he.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
he is known to be making a lot of money.
Good. He is correct answer. He is known to be making. This is the continuous infinitive, because we have the second verb in the present continuous. He is known to be making a lot of money. Next sentence. It was thought that the company was making a big profit. It was thought that the company was making a big profit. Now, the first verb is in past simple, and the second verb is in past continuous.
Teacher,
Yeah, go ahead.
the company was thought to have been making a big profit.
To have been making. Why have you used the perfect infinitive? To have been making. No, we can't use the perfect because there is no time difference. Both are in the past. The first verb is in the past. The second verb is in the past. But when you have only the continuous aspect, you can use the continuous infinitive, to be making. The company was thought to be making. If you want to use the perfect infinitive, then we should have here, for example, it was thought that the company had been making a profit, or it is thought that the company has been making. So in this instance, the first verb is in present and the second verb is in present perfect continuous. So when you have a time shift or time difference, then we use the perfect infinitive. In this case, both the time is the past. However, what changes is only the aspect. Here the aspect is it simple, and here the aspect is continuous. If you have only a difference of aspect, you can still use the continuous infinitive. Only the continuous infinitive. Only if you have a difference in time. A time reference is not the same. When you have, for example, simple versus present versus past. All right. In this case, you can use the perfect infinitive. All right, is this clear?